Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton and I'm a Pleiadian channel and starseed coach. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to open your starseed gifts. All of those multi-dimensional abilities that we've been talking about in so many of these videos. Today, we're going to talk about how do you actually do it? What does this actually look like? Because I'm guessing the reality is going to be a little different than what you were imagining. So today we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of how this all works. But before we jump into today's topic, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. Now, first things first, when we talk about starting to access our starseed gifts and abilities, our multidimensional gifts, there are a couple things that it's good to know. First and foremost, this is not a light switch. So when we talk about opening our abilities, opening our starseed gifts, this is not something that happens overnight. Unfortunately, this is one of the big misunderstandings that I had when I was starting to open my abilities. I thought I was going to watch one video on YouTube of how to open my third eye, and that was going to be it. So this is one of the huge misunderstandings that I had when I started my intuitive training. I thought I was going to watch a single video, do a single session with an energy healer, pop open that third eye chakra, and be done. And so I had to kind of learn the hard way that this is a process. So learning how to open our multidimensional abilities doesn't happen overnight. It is more like a gym membership. You move as fast as you put in the work. So this is something that is going to take place over time. This is not a one and done situation because essentially, as we start to open our intuitive abilities, we have to go through a few processes. We have to let go of pretty much everything we were ever taught to believe. And that just doesn't happen overnight. We have to learn some new skills. So we have to learn how to move energy. We have to learn how to raise the vibration. So there are some things that just take a little time and practice. It is kind of like learning a new language. So knowing that as you go in will make this process so much easier. It will just let the ego mind relax a bit if you're not expecting this to be instantaneous. Now, of course, having an instantaneous opening is possible, but unfortunately, that generally only happens in cases of severe trauma. So people who have had a near-death experience or have some sort of similar level trauma have experienced those instantaneous openings of the abilities, but we generally want to avoid that kind of trauma. So when we are learning to open our abilities, understanding that this is a process that evolves over time can be really helpful. It just helps you manage your expectations because I know I was so disappointed to learn that this was not going to happen overnight. So just wanted to save you a little of that discomfort that I went through. So let's jump in now and talk about what I kind of think of as the 5 main steps to opening your abilities. Now, step number 1, and this is the way that I have kind of learned to do this myself. So it is not to say that this is the only way to do it, but I find that this ordering of steps works for most people, and it teaches them to do this in a way that's safe and effective. So step number 1 for me is always to help people ground their energy, because one thing that the Pleiadians often say, and if you have watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a Pleiadian channel. So I work quite closely with the Pleiadians. And one thing that they like to point out is that in order to connect to our multidimensional gifts, we have to be grounded in the body. And this can be really challenging for a lot of lightworkers and starseeds because the nature of our vibration is a little different than that of the average person, which makes the human experience kind of uncomfortable. And for that reason, we tend to pop our consciousness out of our body. This is extremely common in lightworkers and starseeds, in sensitives, in empaths, because being in the physical body is just too uncomfortable. So what we do without realizing it, this is not something that most of us plan, is we pop our consciousness out of the body. And when we do that, we are not grounded in our physical form. And we have to be in our physical body and connected to the planet in order to manifest anything in this realm. So being grounded in the body is always step number one, because if you're not in the body, it's just extremely difficult to do this. So getting grounded in the body is step number one. So having a great process that works for you to ground your energy is a great first step. Now, if you need help with this, I've done several videos on grounding where I take you through all the rationale, the background, the history, and several techniques to do this if you need some background info. And also grab the grounding meditation that I have on my website. It is specifically for light workers and starseeds who tend to have different energetic needs than the average person. So if you need some help and a specific meditation to help you ground, make sure you click the link in my description and go grab that free meditation. It will take you through a couple different options to help you figure out what's best for your body, because we're all completely unique. Everyone needs something a little different. And that meditation will give you some great options. So check that out if you need some help with that. Now, step number 2, if you are serious about opening your abilities, is to heal and balance your energy field. Now, in the spiritual community, we talk about this a lot, right? The aura, having a high vibration, these are kind of all of our buzzwords, but having a strong energy field is really important because the energy field provides support to the body. And most of us, unfortunately, as we go through this human life, our energy field takes a beating. We pick up a lot of limiting and negative beliefs from everyone around us, the world, our society, our programming. We collect a lot of energy that doesn't belong to us. So we've got a lot of stuff caked in our energy field that isn't our energy. We sustain damage to the aura. So we may have rips in our aura, holes, tears, dents. And what this does is it lets our essential energy leak out and unfortunately lets us absorb what doesn't belong to us. So most of us, when we are kind of starting this process, have a lot of damage to the energy field. And when you have a very damaged energy field, it can't support you. It can't support you in doing this work. And it's kind of like a flat tire. So you want your energy field to be pristine, to be sealed, to be healthy and strong so that it can support you like a tire. But most of us are driving on flat tires, which means all of the weight of this work falls on the physical body, which causes issues. So step number 2 is to do some great work to heal, balance, and stabilize your energy field. And the way you do this is through certain simple what we call energy tools. So these are simple processes that you do every day that start to heal and balance your energy field so that your energy field can support you. Otherwise, you just don't have the energetic strength necessarily to do what you're trying to accomplish. So this process of healing and balancing the energy field helps to heal any damage that you have sustained over the years. It helps you to remove energy that doesn't belong to you. So anything that you have picked up from other people, from your family, any frozen and stuck emotions that you are holding on to, it helps to start clearing all of that out of your energy field because we have to be nice and sparkling clean to really do this work to our highest ability. So we need to have a nice, clean, strong, healthy energy field to be able to open our abilities. Now, step number 3, when we're wanting to open our abilities, is to raise our vibration. And this is something we talk about all the time in the spiritual community. But a lot of people don't know how to actually do it, right? We know the theory, we know why we should do it, but we don't actually know how to do it. Well, there are tons of ways to raise your vibration, and raising your vibration is kind of a holistic process. So everything you are doing in your life affects your vibration. So what are you eating? Are you eating high vibrational, healthy food, or are you eating garbage? Going to affect your vibration. Who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with people, spending time with people who uplift you, who encourage you, who support you? Or are you hanging out with people who are negative and toxic? It's going to affect your vibration. Another big one is, what beliefs are you holding on to? How many of those limiting beliefs do you still have? The more you have, the more you lower your vibration. So as you can see, everything is a piece of the puzzle. So as we start to do this work of wanting to open our abilities, It's a process of cleaning up our life, every area of our life, because everything we are doing, everyone we are in contact with, everything we are taking in, whether that is food or information, it all affects the vibration. So as we start to get serious about opening our abilities, we have to get serious about cleaning up our life because, again, it comes down to the vibration. And as the guides like to say, in order to start to connect with multidimensional information, we have to raise our vibration high enough to access that information. So we have to raise our vibration in order to kind of meet our guides halfway. So they are looking to help us, but they are on a different channel than us. So we have to, as humans, raise our frequency to kind of meet them halfway so that we can access multidimensional information, multidimensional skills, gifts, and abilities. It all exists at a slightly higher frequency. Working on your vibration is step number 3 to starting to open your abilities. And if you need some help with this, I have done several videos with lots of the specifics to get you into all the nuts and bolts of how to raise your vibration. So go back and check out those videos if you need some more specific help with that. Now, step number 4 might be something you're not quite expecting, and that is when you're interested in starting to seriously open your abilities and really start to connect more, to open up to all those fun things like telepathy, clairvoyance, all those things that we want to start to access again as humans. One thing that the guides always encourage us very strongly to do is to do some serious work releasing our fear. Because as humans, we hold so much fear energy. We live on the fear planet, right, y'all? It is cranked out to us 24/7. And so most of us hold way more fear energy than we realize. And this is an incredibly dense vibration. So clearing the fear energy through whatever technique is your favorite. Some people like to use shadow work. I personally like to use integration work. I think that's the strongest tool out there for releasing fear. But releasing fear is really, really important. And here's why. If we are holding a lot of fear energy in our field, and a lot of us are, even if it's unconscious. So you may not think of yourself as a particularly fearful person. We are still all carrying the fear templates of our entire collective, of all of our ancestors. So even if you don't think this is an issue for you, it is an issue for almost everyone. So finding your favorite tool to release fear is going to be a huge part of this process, because if you start to open your abilities and are holding a lot of fear energy, as the guides like to say, your experience is going to match the energy you are holding. So if you are trying to open up and connect and you're holding a lot of fear, you're going to have a negative experience, even if the experience itself was benevolent. Because again, you can only experience anything if it is a match to you. So we don't want to have a lot of fear energy in our field when we start to do this work. This is something that the guides have recommended to us very strongly. And as y'all know, I'm a Pleiadian channel, so my guides tend to be Pleiadian. And this is something that they have told us time and time again, is before you start to open up, they encourage all of us to do some serious work on releasing our fear, because otherwise it will taint your experience. And we don't want that. So releasing fear is the next step of opening your abilities. And finally, the next step to opening your abilities is to have a very set process for opening your channel. And what we are talking about here is opening your connection to higher realms of information. So whether you are looking to connect with your intuition, with your guides, with your star family, it all starts with opening your channel, being able to move energy properly through your body. And this is a very specific process. This is something that we teach in intuitive circles. So there is a very specific technique that you use to do this, which will help you open up to bringing in and being able to understand multidimensional information. Because if we are bringing in this information, which we all are all the time, what is happening is our ego minds and the mind-body system block it out. That is what the 3D brain and nervous system are designed for, because they are what kept us in 3D for so long. And we had that 3D experience because our mind and our body just blocked out multidimensional information. It's what they were designed to do. So what we want to do now is retrain the body and the mind to allow in this information, because we're not in 3D anymore. So now we actually want our body to allow this information in, to allow our higher self in. And the way we do this is by opening our channel or our connection to the higher realms in a very specific way. So making sure you have the tools to do that can be very, very important. Now, one question that always comes up with people who are interested in, opening their abilities, connecting with their gifts is, can I do this myself? And the answer, of course, is technically yes. This is something that people actually can learn to do themselves with no formal instruction, but it tends to take years, if not decades, to do this well. So this is an area where it is very, very helpful to get formal training. And there's two reasons for that. First off, you want to do this in a way that actually works. So many of us, unfortunately, on the spiritual path have spent years trying to do this and had nothing happen. So one reason why formal training can be well worth the investment is because you want it to work, right? You don't want to waste your time. So that is one of the reasons. But the second reason is you want to do this safely. Now, just as our human family is completely diverse, we have so many lovely humans who are wonderful and loving and kind. And then we have the opposite end of the scale. The higher realms are no different. So we want to use our discernment as we start to open these abilities. And unfortunately, without proper training, people don't usually have the control over what energies they are connecting with. So anyone can open their abilities, but you want to do this in a way that you're only connecting with energies of love and light, because everything is out there just as it is on Earth. So you want to be doing this in a way that is safe, and you want to do it in a way that you're not wasting your time. So you don't want to spend 2 years thinking you are meditating and channeling Archangel Michael, only to find out you've been channeling someone's dead grandma. Because if you don't have the discernment and the training to know what energies you're connecting with, these mistakes happen very commonly because it takes time and tools to know the difference. So this is one reason why I always encourage people at this point in the process, when they are serious about opening their abilities, I encourage people to get proper training, because it can help you open your abilities so much quicker and in a way that's much safer. So anyway, that is my TED Talk on that. But I always encourage people, while you can do it yourself, it's not always the best course of action. So this is one area where getting proper training is well worth the investment. So just throwing that out as food for thought. And as always, y'all, if you need help, reach out to me at the link in the description. And that also contains links on how to work with me one-on-one if that is something you are interested in. I teach all of the tools that I talk about in these videos to help you guys learn how to do this in a way that's safe and effective. So let me know in the comments below if you have started to open your abilities yet. Drop that in the comment box. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you next time. Bye.